Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So I hope you're doing well. So due to inclement weather, so I decided to meet totally online today. So I hope you will have same experience or pretty same experience. That you have our face-to-face class. So let us see how it goes today. Okay. So let us start our lecture with our schedule. So this week, so we just have had our test one, right? So how was the test one?
It was pretty good.
Is that hard? Was that hard?
No, it wasn't hard.
Okay, so just I want to give you some reminder again. So I gave you several announcements and reminder that about the test time and test modes, right? So I told you that you need to install the respondent setup quiz. Take this quiz first before you take the test. But I saw that some of you still did not take that. That means you did not install your lockdown browser correctly. So those kind of people are supposed to have issue while taking test. So if I share with you, you see the screen. So you see that there are 111 students. They took part 1 and 112 students they took part 2. Okay, but only 94 students they completed this quiz. I'm not sure how the other people how they were able to complete this. So as I announced,
a lot of us have it installed for other courses, so they might not have felt that they needed to.
Okay, that yeah, I did not know that. I did not think that way. That's good. But as long as you did well, that's fine. So I told you that. So this was the window. So 9 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. your test was open, and I told you that you have to complete at least one part between this time and start another part within this time. Okay, some students still confused. Okay, and I got email from only a few students that they said they did not know that there was a test. So the test is on schedule, right? Here in schedule. This schedule is up from the beginning of this semester. And since previous like 2 weeks, I had been telling that there will be a test. So I'm not sure how those students, they did not know that there was a test. So do you have any suggestion that how can I improve this message in future? Okay, thank you. So yeah, someone wanted to speak.
I think it was pretty obvious that there was a test. I mean, if you're coming to class at all, you've mentioned it every day since just about day one, so.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you. I did not know any other better way to tell that the student. Okay, so before we start, so this week we are supposed to cover to start selection or repetition statement, right? So we started already repetition structure, and in our last lecture I gave you some in-class activities, like one of those, the last one. So we did these activities in our lecture. So this is the simple one. We discussed how to find whether a number is an even number or an odd number. Then we discussed to check whether a year is a leap year or not. Then we discussed whether a number is divisible by both 5 or 7 or something like this. And also we use or, either divisible by 5 or divisible by 7. So my understanding was that if you understand like this kind of problem, simple problem, that you are supposed to start with like more complicated problem. So then we discussed this problem, right? So activity 5, how to take input of your CSITEd code and then to decide whether this CSITEd code is an excellent CSITEd score or a very good CSITEd score or a good CSITEd score or bad CSITEd score. Okay. So I asked them to practice this one with if, else if, and else statement. And I also give another activity that to just convert this program with a switch case statement. Okay. So these are not in test yet, Addu, right? This kind of problem was not in your test, right?
It was on mine.
Okay.
You talking about switch?
Yeah,
statements?
switch case.
Yeah, I used that on my test.
Yeah, so did I.
Are you able to do that?
It was also on my test too.
Okay. Okay. So okay. This morning I tried to convert this program in all 3 languages. This is Java, Java, C++, and C#. So there is one trick here we need to do. So let me explain this program quickly, not in depth. Okay. So you need to take an input of an integer input, right? So this is the line you need to create a scanner object in Java. So you will learn later what is object, and then by the end of this semester you will learn. But for now, I told you to memorize this code, like this line and this line. This line is to convert. So this line number 7 is just to give you a message or reminder. Nothing, it does nothing than this. So here, line number 6, it is a scanner object. We are creating a scanner object. The scanner object is we are hooking with our system.input device. Our standard input device is keyboard. So we say system.in, that operating system, and then input device. And then we say our integer variable, for instance, cc, our CSITEd code. And CSITEd code equal to whatever we say scan this object dot next int. So this is a built-in method. Next int is a built-in method we use to convert this scan object, this scanner object, into an integer number. Okay, and then we will enter here the raw in CSITEd code, and then we need to convert it to a rank. So you can say cc rank equal to cc divided by 50. So why are we using 50 over here? The logic is that in our problem we did have our CSITEd score. So all these are divisible by 50, right? GCD of this number is 50. Okay, the common number, there's a common number for this, the greatest common divisor is 50. So this is the trick. So we convert this raw input CSITEd score by 50, then we will get a rank. So for instance, if we give our CSITEd score 734, so then we will get 40 integer division, right? So then based on 14, so we say 14 will fall in our CSITEd score is good. So whatever I did not check here. So whatever it falls with this rank, we will use this rank. So if we say is less than 70, right? Less than 70, it is okay. So this is actually is different order. So you need to put in order, correct order, in order to solve this problem. Okay. So here we say if our schedule score is 70, 700 greater or equal to 700 or less than 750, right? Then it is a very good score. Okay, and then if it is 750 or greater but less than or equal to 800, that is then this is an excellent credit score. Like, so for instance, then this 800, if we divide by 800 by 50, then our result will be, rank will be 16, right? So here we say for 16, we say our credit score is excellent. So how about if our credit score is 760, 770? Then 770 divided by 50, the integer division is result is 15, right? Still it is 15 point something actual result, but we are considering just the integer value, so 15. So even it is 750, then 750 divided by 15 equal to 15. So there we have two cases. These cases is 16 and 15, then our credit score is an excellent score. Then we will break. And then how about if our credit score is 14, like credit score rank is 14, that means 770 divided by 50 equal to 14, right? Then actually, okay, but less than 750. Okay, so that means for all of this number, any number in between this range, if we divide it by 50, then integer division we will get 14, right? Then for 14, so for 14, if our rank is 14, then our credit score is very good. So we say very good. We say that is a very good credit score. Okay, and so on. I did not complete the remaining part. For instance, you can do it. For instance, if our credit score, so you see there is a large gap here, is between 300 to less than 600, right? So if we divide 300 by 50, then our result is, can anyone please, people over there, so please participate. Please speak loudly, okay? Please speak out. So if we divided 300 by 50, our score, our rank is 6, right? And if we divided by, for instance, 599, then if we divided by 50, then our result is 11 point something, but we will consider 11. So in our program, so all score rank between 11 and 6, between 11 and 6. 6 means our, here again let me show you, 300 divided by 50, so 300 divided by 50 equal to 6, right? So for all these cases, from 11, then 10, then 9, then 8, then 7, then 6, like what is the lowest number, like maybe 555 for instance. Say 599 divided by 50. Okay, 11 and 300 divided by 50 equal to 6. So starting from 11 to 6, all of these are in this category, bad credit score. Okay. So we will write is bad. So bad. Okay. Other than
You muted yourself.
Check your computer audio settings rather than the Teams audio settings.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I just disconnected from team and then restarted. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay, so let us make this this lecture interactive. Okay, so you speak, please. So if you do not understand, then please speak out. Okay. So here I was trying to explain this problem. Okay. So you see that here, if our schedule score is less than 300, that means if we divided 300 by 50, then what we will get? So for instance, 299. If our schedule score is 299, 299 divided by 50, we will get 5 point something, right? 5198 or 99 something. Okay, but we will take only 5 since we are doing integer division. So if we say in our case 5, and then other cases, okay, 5, other cases like 4.
You need to share screen, Pack.
Sorry?
You need to share your screen.
Oh. Can you see now?
Yep.
Thank you. So here the case is 5, 4, like all other cases. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, right? And even also if we say 0. So for these cases, our credit score will be what is your credit score? We say invalid credit score? Not actually invalid, actually very bad. You can say very bad credit score. Whatever we say, no problem. Okay. So whatever we say very bad credit score, your credit score is very bad. Very bad. And then we need a break statement. Otherwise, for instance, if we have any score other than this, okay, then we say that invalid credit score. We need to input again. And so this is the end of our switch case. This is end of switch. Okay. And this is the end of our main program. You see the main started line number 4 and it ends in line number 56. So this is end of main method. Okay, main is a method. Okay, and this is the 57, line number 57 is the end of main class. So it's class start and line number 3. So you will learn about class later. Okay, so this is end of class of the class. There is only one class here, so you can say end of the class. Okay, so this program now is pretty complete in Java. So if you run this program, then you will ask you to give a credit score. For instance, if I put my credit score 789, then credit score rank is 15, and then it will show an excellent. But you don't need to show, for instance, this rank. If you want to show, or if you do not want to show, that's up to you. Okay, but this is the program code, for instance. Okay. So anyone has any question?
Nope, all good.
Okay, so if we want to convert this program in C++ or C#, just first of all you need to convert these codes, these lines, and also these lines are pretty simple except this print statement. Okay, so I have partially started this program in C#. So in C#, just your conversion is here. This line is different from C++, Java and C++. So we will just convert. This is a built-in class dot to int 32. Okay, this is a method, and what we are converting console.readline. So what we are taking using our keyboard, that value will be converted into an integer number, and that integer number we are dividing by 50, and then we are getting rank. So the rank will be somehow between 0 to 16. Okay, so these are the code for so you can copy this from 11 to 6. Your score is bad, right? So 11 to 6. So I can copy this 11 to 6. Is bad. Okay. After that, we said 5 to 0 is very bad. Is 5 to 0 is very bad. So case starting from 5, either 5 or 4. So what we are doing over here is for all of this case, either 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 or 1, or 0, we have same common message, right? Common output. So we are giving only one. We don't need to give this repeating in all cases. So we need to give it here. Okay, and one thing that in C#, it does not allow having missing break, right? In Java and C++, we may have a missing break, and also in pseudocode, we may have a missing break, but C# does not allow of having missing breaks. So we need a, so if we run this program, it should work. So if we give our schedule score, for instance, 250. Okay, this is a very bad schedule score, right? And if we say read over here instead of read line, then it will take here. This will take here. So now if we give our schedule score 700, right? So this is a very good schedule score. My rank is 14. So based on the rank, it will go to this. Okay. So this program is in C#, and also we can convert this program in C++. So I have my code here in C++. Okay, for C++ we have 10, 11, 9, 8, 7, 6. So until 6 it was bad, right? And then after 5 to 0, it was very bad. It's really bad. Okay. So C++ does not have console, so we need to convert this console.writeLine into cout, and the last line we need to get rid of this one. Okay. So if we run this program and we give our KD score, for instance 560, the rank is 11, then KD score is bad. Okay, rank is 11, so if it goes 11, then rank is bad, right? So let us run this program again and give us 600 something, so it goes between these 12, so maybe 634. So KD score is pretty good. So again, if we run this program and give input, for instance, what is the 777, then KD score is excellent, right? 777 will go in this. Okay. And how about other than this? Okay, so we have how many cases over here? We have about actually 17 cases, starting from 0 to 16, that we have covered 17 cases. But if someone gives SKD score 999, okay, so this will not fall in either of this category, right? So rank is 19. 19 is not defined here. So all we have from starting from 17, 15, and then we are coming back down all the way 0. So we do not have any rank for 19. So 19 will fall in this default category. Okay. Then so it will say you a default. In some languages, for the default case, break is not required, but in some languages default is required. Like for instance, do this practice especially with C#, because C# is different than Java and C++. So everybody understand this? In C++, the input statement is very simple, only one line, cin. The input statement is very simple. But in Java and C#, the input statement is quite different than C++. So people who are taking C# lab, you remember that this, you need to remember actually this line. Somehow, just memorize this line. So C# people and C++ people, sorry, Java people, just memorize these two lines, line number 6 and line number actually 8. Line number 8. Okay, line number 6 to 8 is for input. Just 7. Line number 7 is used just to give a message. It does nothing than this. But line number 6 is related to line number 8. That means line number 8 is related to line number 6. So even you could give this message above line number 6. So I could say line number 5 over here, then line number 6, and these two lines we need to remember for integer input, keyboard input in Java. So anyone has any question? I'm sorry, Samal. Are you okay?
Yep.
Okay, so I have this program in all 3 languages. Just if you go to my Replit account, okay, and then you see that these are the 3 programs here. Just I did today. So Swiss case, credit score, demo, example, CPP, C#, and Java. Okay, so if you go to our resource space on CCSE, ccsc.ekenesa.edu/FYE resource space. So you see the all the way end. So there is a slide over here. It says key differences between C#, C++, and Java. I like you to open this slide and, if possible, take a printout of this slide. Okay, and read it sometime. So you may need to come here back. So that there are 80% similarities between two languages. Okay, in these 3 languages. And there are like a few more differences, like the 6 key differences we figured out so far. Number 1 is the difference in main method in C++ like this, in Java like this, and C# is like this. Okay, and the output statement in C++ is with cout, and then in Java we use system.out.println, and in C# we write console.writeLine. Okay. And the input statement is quite different in C++, Java, and C#. In C++, if you have a single variable that input only one word, then we use cin. And if you have multiple words with space, then we use getLine method. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay, sorry. I got a phone call from my mom. Okay, so this is the input statement, is quite different. Okay, so C#, actually this line, whether you will use, like for instance in Java, next line or next int, depends on the type of the variable. For instance, for a string type, you need to use next line. For an integer, then you will use next int. Okay, for a double number, you will put next double. So these are the built-in methods. For a float, you will use next float. Okay, and for the console, so C#. So for instance, this A is an integer number. So convert.toInt32. 32 actually we discussed maybe at the beginning of this semester. So every data type has its length. So an integer, it takes 32 bit. That means 4 bytes. So this why C# developer they give this name. This is a function name. Okay. So for instance, this one, and then some differences between keywords is this like this, and then constant declaration is like this, and then last one we are facing here the difference between in switch case and C#, Java, and C++. So I like you to keep a copy of these few pages like this. And there are other differences. There are few more differences that we will learn when we discuss array, declaration, then function, class, object. But for now, if you understand these 6 key differences, then you should be good to starting converting a program written in one language to another language. Okay. So that's all for our selection statements. So I like you starting from here, practice more programs. Okay, and then you will see there are a lot of programs available online. So you can see there are many problems and their solution. But I like you to practice programming. Okay, so this course is heavily practice oriented. So from the very beginning, I was telling that you need practice, practice, and practice. So I believe so students who are practicing the test should be pretty simple for them. Okay. So this week we are supposed to start a repetition structure. Okay, but luckily I started repetition structure in our previous lecture. So the repetition structure is module 4. Okay, so if you go to our resources and our slides, so then you see the repetition structure. This is module 4. Okay, module 4. So I like you to download these slides sometime, and sometimes delete the old slides and get the new slide, because sometimes if we find any mistake or if we find any scope to update our slides, we frequently do that without giving you any notification. Okay, so this is why I like you to sometimes to follow the updated slides. So but sometimes even I change it and I keep it in my own files. Let us start with this. Okay, so in our last lecture we discussed that there are mainly 3 repetition looping statement: while, do while, and for loop, right? So in our previous lecture we discussed while, do while, and for, right? So while is used to check a condition, this Boolean condition, and if the condition is true, then it executes this statement, and then it goes to the loop again. So if the condition is again true, then it executes the statement again. So that means while loop is used to check the condition first, and as long as the condition is true or remains true, then it executes the loop body. That means it goes for a while. So why at some point we need to terminate the loop. So then how do we terminate? At some point we need to make this statement false, this Boolean statement false. So then that is why we need to sometime to, for in this case, we need to increment this value since it is starting from 1. So in order to make this condition false, we need to increment it. And sometime, for instance, you will see that, for instance, if your starting point is 10 or something, 10,000, right? And then you may have a condition like this: if it is greater than instead of less than, if it is greater than while is greater than, for instance, 1. So in that case, how to make this condition false? So everybody hear me? Hello?
You want to make it false?
Yeah, how can I make this condition false? If my initial counter is 1000 and if I want to check while counter greater than 101. So in order to make this condition false, we need to make sometime decrement, right? We need to decrement this counter, right? We need to decrease this value, right? So at this point, actually what I'm telling that in the while loop body, after executing the statement or before executing the statement within this while loop, we need to change this this value. We need to update this this value. How do we update this? Based on the initial value and the condition. So in this case, the initial value was greater than this condition, so we need to decrease the value. But for this problem, whatever we have over here initially, we have here. So we need to, in order to make this condition false, we need to increase this value, right? So this is why you will see that in our slide, we do have, sometimes we do have increment our value. So in our last lecture, I asked you specifically to practice some programs like this program, right? How many of you did? Okay, so you are in test preparation, right? Is there anyone that had a chance to practice this program? Okay, so if you do not have any chance yet, so this is the time. Okay, so today I like you, before you come to our next lecture, so please practice this program. It will take a few minutes. Just copy and paste this code in a program. Okay, and then change this print statement with your language. If it is in C++, then it will be cout. If it is in Java, then it will be system.out.println. And if it is in C#, then it will be console.writeline. Okay, these two, change this and write and run the program and see the output and try to understand this output. So it has two operators. It has an operator. It's called plus operator. That is the prefix notation of this incremental operator, and this is the postfix notation. In our last lecture, I discussed clearly that in prefix notation, it first increment or decrement the operand, and it uses the incremented or decremented value sorry, in the same statement. And for the postfix operation, it uses the old value, and then after using the old value, it increments or decrements. In this case, it is increment, right? The value, and that will be used for next statement. And I asked you to practice this program, and then we discuss Sentinel value. Sentinel value is the critical value that is used to control a loop, either a while loop or a do while loop or a for loop. A loop is a special value that has a critical value. When we reach to that critical value or a terminal value, then it breaks the loop. That is called Sentinel value. Okay. And maybe, okay, so this is the homework. I like you to practice this one. Okay, I like to practice this homework, and the code is given over here. The problem is that you will like make a simple, very simple game program. Okay, so for instance, you will play with a little baby, your boy, or your if you have a brother or sister or some other relative that is You can play with them. You can ask them to guess a number. You can write it down on a piece of paper. And then you can also guess in another number. And then you run your program. When you run your program, then you will input the number that you guessed. So then we will check whether your guess is equal to that your partner's guess. So then in that case, it may check whether you are like-minded or not. Okay, this is not a good game or it's a sophisticated game, but this is a startup. Like for instance, starting from ABC. Okay, the code is I'm sorry. The code is given over here, just you can convert in language. So remember that in pseudocode format, we need to write end while. Okay, but end while like end if. But in actual program code, you don't need to write end while, just you would write parenthesis, closing parenthesis. This is the end of while. Okay, and then we discuss do while loop. Do while loop, what it does, it checks the condition later. Actually, it executes the statement body or loop body without checking the condition. That means it executes a statement or block of statement at least one time. And after this checking, then it checks the condition. And if the condition is true, then it repeats the loop. If the condition is not true, then it goes out of the loop. So meanwhile, before it checks the condition, already we see that one time the execution, this statement will be executed. So this is the main difference between do while and while. Do while executes the body at least one time. So and there is a format difference. In while we put condition, this condition first without any semicolon, but for do while we have a semicolon over here. Okay. So this is the structure of while and do while. Do while it executes the body without checking any condition. If the condition is true, then it goes to the loop body for the second time. If the condition is false, then it goes to next line. But here in while, it takes the condition first. If the condition is true, then it goes to the loop body. If the condition is not true, then it does not go into the loop. So anyone has any question? Anyone has any question?
En el trabajo, la oficina. Y entonces cuando vuelvan nos vamos de aquí mismo. Está bien.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I like this class to be, since it is completely virtual, I like to be online. Okay, so interactive. Okay, so everybody please speak out. Okay, let me see. I see how many people are there. I see I see 42 people is joining. 42 people are joining. So please, everybody, please, not everybody, but I like some of you to join. Okay, to speak out. Still, I see people are giving me. I send.
Uh-oh.
You muted your mic. There you go.
Okay. Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so everybody speak, at least some people please speak and make this class interactive, okay? Okay, so this one, the do while loop. So you see that the important format is that after while, in do while there is a semicolon, but for while there is no semicolon. Okay. So the same program, the previous program was converted here. This is another problem. What is the problem? Write a program in which you enable your user to enter a number using a do while loop, output the reverse display of this number. That's good. I discussed this program in our last lecture by giving example. Okay, so in my Replit account. So here, if you go to my Replit account, okay, repl.it, then @Mokhtar, my username. Okay, if you go here, I think some of you told me that you cannot search like this, that I can do. Okay, so reverse a number using do while. I have code in Java and I was in C#. I do have this programming also in C++ also. Okay, so what I'm doing, I did over here, we discussed this in our last lecture. Okay. So we take a number and we get the right digit. How do I get the right digit? By taking the modulo 10. And then we sync the number. How do we do that? We sync the number by dividing 10, integer division. And then we do this, and then I discussed this problem is asked to just reverse a number. And while reversing, I also discussed how to reverse the number, also how to find some of the digits. If you know how to do this part, then the second part or different problem is easier. You can convert this problem to another problem, like how to find some of the digits, how to find some of the word digits, how to find some of the even digits, how to find the multiplication of the digits or product of the digits, how to find the product of the word digit or even digit, something like this. Or you can make about 10 to 12 problems, similar problems from this problem. Okay, so there is a possibility that you will get a test questions like this. Okay, so for instance, if I enter a number 145, okay, so that my number is 145, so that what will be the reverse of this number? Anyone can tell us?
541.
541. Thank you so much. So 541 is my reverse number. So now if we want to say what are the sum of the word digits, so what are the word digits over here? So number 5 and 1, these are the word digits, right?
Yep.
Okay, the sum of the word digit is 6, right?
Yep.
Okay, so how do you say multiplication of the word digit is 5 times 1, 5, right? So finding sum of the word digit or multiplication of the word digit, or this is here like 2 lines of extra codes. So if our last digit, we are getting the last digit, how can I get the last digit? For instance, our input is 145. If we take modulus 10 output, then it will give us 5. This is my 5, the rightmost digit. So the rightmost digit will be first time it is 5. So then we are checking the last digit. So if the last digit is 5, we are checking is it divisible by 2. That means if modulo 2 equal to 1, that means this number is not divisible by 2. Okay, that means this is we are checking for what condition. And in order to check this problem, just to make the, if you want to say what is the sum of even digits, just we need to make a single change over here. What is the change? If we say equal to equal 0, then it will check whether last digit is even. So if we get the last digit, then we can say sum of the digits or multiplication of the digits. So one thing that we discuss, when we sum something, a number of letters or something, you need to initialize the sum of the digit variable by 0. 0 is the additive identity, right? And if you want to get the multiplication result of a sum of numbers, then we need to initialize the multiplication result by 1, because 1 is the multiplicative identity. Otherwise, if you say, even if you make this 0, then you will get your total result, multiplicative result will be 0. You understand the reason is that? Because whatever your number is, no problem. So whatever your number, if you initialize this by 0, then you will get the result. Multiplication result will be 0. So this is the one thing that you need to remember if you are asked to find the sum of the digits or multiplication of the digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have this program written in all 3 languages. Okay, so please practice this program and be sure that you understand this program clearly. Okay. So anyone has any question? So I have written this program in all 3 languages. So please practice this, okay? And the last one, then in our last lecture we stopped here, we discussed for loop, right? For loop is widely used. But why did we start with while and do while? Because while and do while is widely used in natural language. So we started our understanding of looping with while, but we will mostly use for loop. For loop is mostly used. For loop is very straightforward. So it has this for keyword, then within parentheses we say initialize the value, and then condition, we put the condition in the middle, and then we put increment or decrement. In most of the languages we use semicolon, not comma. And statement blocks will be middle. So everything can be done in while loop can be done by for loop. Okay, or vice versa. Everything can be done in for loop can be done in while loop. In while loop we give the initialization before while, and in for loop we can give initialization here or also before the for. And condition, it comes always in the middle, and the increment or decrement we can give here or in the body. So the initialization statement, it executes only one time, and condition is checked every time, and increment or decrement it does every time. So this is the for loop structure, and as I mentioned that this is the for loop structure that can be converted to while. So if the while is like this, that can be converted to for like this. So everything in while loop can be converted to a for loop and vice versa. So here in this program, the previous program we used same program is converted here in using for loop that we discussed a few slides back. We discussed this like this program, so that it will print number count from 1 to 5. So the same thing can be done here using for loop. Okay, so the previous program that was written in using while is discussed here using loop. So I like everybody to go to this program. I'm coming to this program. Okay, so previously this program I used in the few slides back using for while loop, and here it is for loop. You see that this is blank. So this part is defined in the above a for loop, then we will keep this blank. And for the condition check is available here, and this condition checks can be given in for loop, in the body of for loop. Okay, and this is the another last part. It will do the increment or decrement here. That part is given here. Also, if you sometime you may skip this part also, like this, even this, then you know this is used to make an infinite loop. Okay, you will find an example like this. So I like to practice this program and to understand the incremental operators, prefix and postfix notation, like practicing this program. So everybody understands? Everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I like you to practice this program. Okay, so if you practice this program, you see that then your life will be easier, and then in future slides, and then especially when we will start our programming flavor. You will learn our programming flavor when we go to methods chapter from 6, module 6. Okay, we will start actual programming. So you'll understand that when you go module 6, but until module like 3, 4, that we are until 4, we are learning program structure. Then in module 5, okay, part 2, module 4 and 5, that is array and sorting. Those are actually data structure. How large data set is organized or used in programming languages. And then actually you will learn methods. Whenever you do methods chapter, then you will be able to do large programs. Okay, so but I like you to practice these programs, that whatever I'm asking you to practice at home. So if you, so far maybe I gave you about 25 programs to practice. So please practice all programs and keep in mind all of the programs. So sometime if needed, go back to your previous program, okay, and try to redo it again. So even it takes a few hours to practice this, if you keep practicing this, you will be good by the end of this course. Okay, so this is, okay, this is another homework, the last homework I want to give for today. So this program says write a program in which you enable a user to enter a number for which they want to see the multiplication table. Okay, for instance, if you enter a number and then, for instance, number 5. Okay, then you will get a multiplication table of up to 5. So this program code is given over here. Just convert this read and print method to your programming language, favorite programming language. And then in our next lecture, we will start with an infinite loop. Okay, how to do and control infinite loop. And then we will get some good structure, nested loop. We will discuss nested loop. Okay, so I like to stop it here. Infinite loop, and we will discuss infinite loop over here in our next lecture. But I want to give you the last homework in class, this one. I like you to practice, and we will discuss this in our next lecture. Has anyone any question?
Nope, all good.
Good. So today overall, how did you like this online virtual class?
Actually, I prefer it. I can hear better.
You did hear better?
Yeah, I actually prefer it like this.
Okay, so that's good. So
I like
actually, thank you so much. So yeah, so please give your feedback. So okay, so this is time maybe. So if you go to our first year experience page, you see that all the way. So FYE feedback. So I like you to give some encouraging feedback to me. Okay, for instance, you select this 1321 lecture, and it is optional. You can mention your email address or name or not. So it's optional. Okay, I like you to give some feedback. Okay, so that, okay, if you have any recommendation or suggestion to make this course better and interactive, please let us know. Okay, I will appreciate your feedback and comment. Okay, so in our next lecture, give me 1 more minute. So I will finish these slides, and then we will do some practice. We will do some practice programming in our next lecture, and after that, actually, we will start something new. After that, we will start array.
I had a quick question.
Yes.
Whenever for all of these practice that you assigned, you want us to practice it in all 3 languages, right?
Better if you practice in all 3 languages, then you will be learning all 3 languages, right? But at least in 1 language. But our goal in this course, from the beginning, I told you that you will be learning 3 languages, right? In this course, and your lab course will be mastering in 1 language, right? So here, if you learn 3 languages, that will be better. So then if you're in the first year, if you learn 3 languages, then how awesome it will be, right? It will be good. Okay, anyone has any question?